Good day, folks. I went ahead and I went on and tapped on the hearings that were in front of the Congress today. They had four mayors that were leading sanctuary cities in America. You had Johnson out of Chicago. You had Mark Johnson out of Denver. Miss Wu out of Boston. And Mr. Johnson, Brandon Johnson, I believe, out of Chi-Town. Johnson, Wu, Wu. There's another one I'm missing. But anyway, the guy from Denver was getting asked some questions. I forget who was the congressman asking the questions. Obviously, it must have been a Republican. And the congressman was asking about an incident that happened at the jail in Denver. Apparently, the jail in Denver had a legal immigrant under custody that had a background. He had been locked up before. He had committed crimes. He was in America illegally. He had stolen a car, charges of menacing. Shouldn't be here. I've heard a lot worse, but he shouldn't be here. Anywho, they were supposed to hold the detainee for 4 hours until an ICE came and got him. An example, the guy's gonna be let go. Let's say, pick a date, the first. He's gonna be let go on the first. So at 10 o'clock in the morning, the Denver jail sends an email or whatever to ICE and says, hey, we're letting old boy go. At 2 p.m., you got 4 hours to come get him. He's right here. That's what was supposed to go down. Okay? In Texas, for example, we'll just hold them until they get them. And that's how it's supposed to be. But not in sanctuary cities, because they're there for illegal immigrants and not us. So anyway, they let the dude out within an hour. Right? There's paperwork. Right? And that's where the mayor kind of bumped his head, because while the questioning was going on, the questioner was, where did you release this guy to? And there on the paper it said to the streets. It did not say to ICE. They never had no intention of releasing him to ICE. And that's what, I believe it was Jim Jordan. I believe it was Jim Jordan that was doing the questioning. Anyway, ICE caught the dude outside in the parking lot. And one of the ICE agents got hurt. Right? Now follow along here. Mace, Nancy Mace, I believe, a congresswoman, a Republican, toward the end of, I'll take that back. I don't know when it was during the hearings, said to them, the four of them, I'm going to be reporting this to Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States of America, and see if those mayors could be brought up on charges or something. But let me ask you this. What do you think might happen if they release an illegal immigrant? Just like what happened in Denver. And God forbid that dude or somebody come to pick up that dude and they drop somebody. They drop the ICE agent, murks him, drops him right in the parking lot. Whose fault do you think that should fall on? Whose fault? Is it the correction officer's fault for letting him out that door? Is it the fault of the person in charge of the jail for directing that correction officer to open the door and let that guy out? Or was it the mayor? Because now we have a body on our hands. And it ain't just anybody. It's an ICE agent that you released, right? Going against federal laws. I think that might happen. God forbid. God bless them all. But I think it might happen. And if it does, it's going to be an issue. So we got to see what happens in this. But, yeah. That Wu lady from Boston, can't remember who was asking her questions. And she had the audacity to open up her mouth and say, the reason why the streets in Boston ain't safe is because of the cuts that the Trump administration wants to make to things like Medicare, veterans something, and cutting some other stuff. What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? That has nothing to do with that. Nothing. Not at all. What does that young man grabbing that old lady's stuff and running off with it, what does that have to do with that lady's Medicaid probably getting cut? What? Just babbling, just talking, because they have nothing to say. I've seen enough of that hearing to know that was just a disaster. That was just ugly. And going up there knowing this is gonna be ugly, yo. I'm gonna have to sit there and take this. Now, the respites do come. They call one Republican, then a Democrat. And the Democrat goes, oh, you see, they don't understand. Is it really that bad? No, it's not really that bad. But they're not helping you with this. This. And then it comes the Republican, and it's like, here comes the scolding again. I remember Johnson out of Chicago. Old girl, older lady, asked, yeah, I know, I remember. How much money did you spend on illegal, what was it, immigrants with hospitals and whatnot? Mark Johnson said 1%. She said, okay. Now, originally she just said, just to give me the amount, don't. And he starts off, well, you know, my city. And she's like, I don't need to know. I don't. But again, they got to talk in circles. You see, these people answering the question, these people that they're asking the questions, they know the answers. It's like law. In law, right? People learn, students in law school learn, do not ask a question that you do not know the answer to. All right? And that's the same thing here. They know the answer. They know these people ain't got no answer. And the answer is just bad. Because let me ask you, as you, an American, whatever type of an American, Puerto Rican American, which leads me to something else, but I'm going to finish this first. How would you answer this? You being a mayor, now just be honest to yourself, okay? If you were a mayor to a major city, all right, and you took the position of these mayors, sanctuary city, let them in, take care of them, feed them, all that. We all know the story. And people ask you, why did you do it? Why did you take all those people in? Spend all that money while we Americans are still in the struggle. Bad. Why? Now, you as a mayor, what will your answer be to that American? What would it be? And let me, I heard somebody say this a while back, and I gave it some thought, but it's been a while since it's crossed my mind, but it just now did, and I'm going to share it. America is the only country in the world, okay? There is no other country in the world. America is the only one that you don't have to be born in America. You could submit your paperwork to become a citizen correctly. And when done correctly, right, and you take your oath and you become a citizen, you are an American. You are an American. It's up to you if you want to consider yourself a Puerto Rican American, a Black American, a Jewish American, whatever. But you are an American. No other country. You could get paperwork and whatnot to stay there, but you ain't becoming no German, right? You ain't becoming no Russian. You ain't becoming a Canadian. Nope. Only American. And that is why we can't just give it away and just tell people to just come in. And so, because then it doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything. You know, it's like, and I'm going to go here. It's kind of like that young lady, the escort, right? She, right, is perceiving, even if she doesn't understand this. She's acting like if she's perceiving herself as a body to be a rental room. You're just renting her for a while. She's a rental room. Instead of taking care of herself like a mansion, right, that has to be bought. Mm-hmm. She's renting out a room while she should be considering herself to be a mansion. where she bought is kind of the term, but it's more like I'm a mansion, right? And you have to prove yourself to be worthy to be allowed in this mansion. Not paid, not rented. You don't want people coming in and out your doorway. That's private property. Why you're making it so public. So America, why should why should we just leave our doors open? And what's crazy is that is only a one-way ticket, because guess who cannot do that? The American. You think I could just go into Mexico and, well, probably could, and just disappear? Decide to go to whatever country that they came from? Even if I had the money, the answer would probably still be no, especially with my background. You know what? They would probably tell me I should lock you up for just applying for a passport. Just for thinking about it, lock you up. Yeah. So why do we just let people in and out? Man, it's crazy. But again, those mayors went through that fire. Hey, you signed up for it. Mm-mm-mm. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care. I'm actually thinking about talking to my sis and my brother-in-law, see if they want to go to an open mic over here in the Arlington area, I believe. I would like to go to an open mic, either do some comedy or some spoken word. Yeah. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves and God bless.